good, Lucky Lefty podcast? As you can see, very special show today for you Notre Dame fans. We apologize for not being able to have a show yesterday. As I said before, man, it was a tough day out on the left coast for my boy Malik. He's still taking care of some personal things. He's going to be locked in tomorrow. He tried to get locked in this morning. Scheduling, I told him I got it. I got our guys. They're going to cover it for us. And we have none other than former Notre Dame running back Prosise, former NFL running back. And then, Mr. As I say, Woosah of the Lucky Lefty podcast, Cam McDaniel himself, who finds a way to kind of get us to come down and talk to us about different aspects. And Cam, we have great topics today, right? We're going to start off with our leftovers, which is what we start off with each and every day. But before we get to that, YouTube, subscribe, a thumbs up, smash it. Helps with the views. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we give you audio edibles every day. Every day over at CFB Nation, exclusively. Go tap in. We thank Jack Swarbrick for identifying us as the home of the misguided passion. That's what we do. We spin it different. That's what we do. We spin it different. So, with that being said, we move forward to leftovers. On top of leftovers, we're going to discuss the return of Jadarian Price coming off that Achilles. And who else can break down transition from running back to wide receiver in reverse when it comes to Chris Tyree? Because this man right here, he did it at Notre Dame. He played both. How difficult is it going to be for Chris Tyree going to the wide receiver position, and how much of an impact can he make? And then we'll get into what I call foreign territory for Notre Dame. Who is the lead tight end? Like, for the first time in a long time, there is no dude at tight end for Notre Dame. How is that going to impact Sam Hartman in the offense and Jared Parker? So let's get to it. We start with the leftovers. And based upon a fan question and comment about something Malik said when he talked about the culture of the quarterback room in his time at Notre Dame, and how it wasn't a culture that was necessarily conducive to growth and continued growth. And he went on to explain certain things. And I thought he did a pretty good job of talking about those things. But fans in the comments afterwards were really concerned about whether or not he was sharing too much information that could somehow negatively affect future recruits. And is there a code, an alumni code, a former player code, guys, when it comes to how you guys express your experience at Notre Dame, if approached by a young man and their parents wanting to know what Notre Dame is all about?
Totally. Absolutely. I would say definitely it's a code. As a former player, and especially as an alumni at Notre Dame, it's a lot of positives to go and being an alumni at Notre Dame, and you express those first and foremost. And obviously with the quarterback situation, the coaching situation, there's never no loyalty. So you always got to just pick a school for what you got to love the school for what it is, and not for any coach, or pick a school for that. So that's what I always talk to younger players about, because you got to pick it for what you love it for, not about what anybody else wants you to go for, or any coach gonna promise you.
Yeah, no, I remember getting that exact advice when I was running around on Stanford's campus, and I was asking about Coach Harbaugh. All the guys were basically telling me the exact same thing that CJ was talking about, and I agree with that to an extent. I also I'm a fan of authentic expression. I'm a fan of being able to tell it how it is, and ultimately at the end of the day, when players are sharing parts of their journey that are ultimately not necessarily the most positive experiences, that's still their story and their journey. And it doesn't take away from the gratitude that they have, from that institution or from that place and from that opportunity necessarily. But there's stages to this stuff, man. There's stages to feeling like maybe you missed out on something because of politics, or you didn't, get the opportunity that you felt like you were supposed to get, or whatever. I mean, like, that stuff hurts, especially when you're an athlete that has a dream to go, like, achieve certain things, which anybody that goes to Notre Dame has a dream of achieving at a very high level. And, not just being a contributing player, but being a dude. All of those guys that show up at Notre Dame are like, they're dudes, like, and they're special humans, and they're former captains, and they're people that have, like, contributed in huge ways to their former teams and are trying to come into Notre Dame and make it an impression that says, hey, like, I belong here. Can you see me? And I think that's just the, like, inner cry and inner child of, like, every athlete that we have to, like, be able to take into perspective with this stuff. And so, I wouldn't say that it's a negative for Malik to come out and be sharing some of these things, especially, like, with other kids and people in the recruiting process. First and foremost, like, I was talking to Shaun about this, but we have a completely different coaching staff than when Malik was there, a completely different culture. And I do believe that we're entering a time where coaches are having to adjust, adapt, evolve, because the game is evolving, evolving very fast. Consciousness is evolving, generational consciousness. When we think about, like, Gen Z and below generation, like these guys are operating at a whole nother level. I tell people all the time, like, this is going to be the sickest generation of athlete, like, coming up that we've ever seen, because these guys have access to instant footage all day long of watching peak performance, learning different deep learning applications to be able to integrate that deep performance. And we're seeing all this, like, cool creativity and just really fun components of how the game's changing. And so there's even, like, going into the recruiting process just a little bit, I'm sure we can double click on this more later, but dude, that's just, like, I don't even hardly know how to orient myself in that space anymore.
Absolutely,
like, thinking about
man.
it, like, yeah, it's exciting, but, like, it's different, right?
It's crazy that you talk about that and intimate that, because we have former Notre Dame linebacker Derek Curry on the show a week ago. And he made some powerful comments that I felt like ruffled Notre Dame fans, because sometimes when you speak from an area of truth, sometimes people just don't want to hear it. And he was worried about Notre Dame falling behind. He was like, look, the way this thing is going from a recruiting standpoint, if we don't wake up and recognize certain things need to be done and certain things need to change, we're going to continue to fall behind, especially when it comes to getting the big time recruits. And in one of those things he said, look, you can't constantly lead with 40 for 40. He said at 16, it's a 16-year-old, he said, man, he said it wasn't he said, I got on campus and met a young lady in my sophomore year that opened my eyes to what Notre Dame could do for me.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, my eyes were open when I got there. I had to experience it. He was like, on the recruiting trail, that wasn't hitting me. He said, but I had a dad that could understand.
Right.
Son, you need to take a look at this, because this can take you further than everything I've taught you up to this point. So the 4 for 40 should really be for the parents. Get them to buy in and understand, so they can intimate that to that young man, that this needs to be a part of the thinking process when we ultimately make a decision. And Notre Dame has to have, Notre Dame has tradition, national championship. I don't care how long it's been.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you get on that, dude, the campus, the vibe, the feeling, regardless, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You walk around that campus, you feel it. And it's different. There are a lot of things that Notre Dame can lead with 16-year-olds that have absolutely nothing to do with 4 for 40. But if they keep leading with 4 for 40, he's right. They're going to fall behind with these kids, and they're going to have to adjust their message moving forward.
Yeah, no, definitely these kids nowadays. I mean, it's not, you know, even our generation, Cam, you know, it was the 4 for 40, you know, for me, it was kind of selling for me, but you know, I went to all boys boarding school, and you know that really wasn't a big selling point for me. Like, you know, you know, like I'm coming home, you know, I'm trying to have fun when I'm trying to have fun when I go to school. So you know, and these kids nowadays, I mean, and the money is just flowing at them now. So it's like, you know, you gotta that's got to be on the forefront basically when you doing this recruiting thing, because now, I mean, and all any school's gonna be like, hey, I'm just gonna throw money in your face, and they're like, I might just want to go there now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Donald Miller, like as an author, and just some of his stuff that he's written on business and marketing, which is what all this stuff is that we're talking about right now. And you know, the art of storytelling is something that I think is huge for Notre Dame. Like, and that's really, I think, what you have to sell to athletes these days is like you're selling the story that you can create here. You know, like you get to plug yourself into something that ultimately has its own very, very unique legacy. And you get to be a part of that in whatever way you feel like you can contribute as an individual artist. And becoming a part of that legacy is like, that's what I think is so special. And that if I could, you know, go back and talk to, you know, recruits now, what I would be saying is like, yo, like, I didn't do everything that I thought I was going to do at Notre Dame, but it's really cool to like look up and see that I'm holding like some different like rushing records and stuff from like a university that has like all of the prestige and all the legacy that they have there. It's just a beautiful thing to be able to know that like I was part of that contribution to that legacy, and that, you know, with all of these really beautiful people that follow Notre Dame and follow our football team, like it's something different and it's something completely special. And I think that, you know, because Notre Dame is Notre Dame, you know, they're able to spin it different a little bit. And I know that a lot of people are wanting us to, you know, create more money and create more opportunities to sign guys, you know, to these bigger contracts. But I really do think that this is all going to morph and evolve and settle itself out as well, in a way that like athletes really begin to see the perspective of this, not just like in the short term, but the ability to kind of like there are guys that I believe have a little bit more of a long-term vision, and I think that Notre Dame is the place for those guys. Really, like
Absolutely,
you're good.
absolutely.
Like, and that's a tough conversation, I'd say, because like there are so many guys that are like short-sighted at the age group that, you know, they're being recruited in, but you get these unique guys, and that's the type of guys that Notre Dame attracts. Like at the end of the day, like they attract guys like that, and you want to keep doing that, just doing it with more efficacy. And I really think that that could be done in a way that really makes an impression on our recruiting. Like the more we're able to, you know, package our story in relation to how the athlete can come and basically say, hey man, like, how do you want to tell your story here? Because that's really what we have to offer. We have this platform for you with this tremendous legacy, and like we haven't won a national championship in over 30 years. Like all these things are like, and we have the ability to go do that now. I mean, even like for a guy like Sam Hartman, I can imagine like as a quarterback being in his position and being able to transfer from a place like Wake to a place like Notre Dame, and really like he's going for it this year. Like
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
he's there for his story and like his branding and everything that comes along with that on the business side. But I'm sure as a competitor and as an athlete, he sees this as a legitimate place where he can go to the playoffs and go for a national championship run and really make history at Notre Dame in a very big way. And I think that is beautiful.
Lucky Lefty podcast, and Left is in the building. What's up, boy?
There he
Hey,
is. Yes, sir. There he is.
Taking unfortunate hiatuses, unplanned hiatuses, trying to
It's all good,
stay
man. You gotta
on
do
task.
what you gotta do, man.
But it's good to have you back, bro. Hey, look, it was a tough day around. Yesterday was tough. It was a tough day, but we're here now. And of course, your comments, as always find a way to lead to the comments after the show. And we started the leftovers talking about, your openness about the quarterback culture during your time in Notre Dame. And ultimately, I think for me, and we talked about this offline, Left, you got to a point where it went beyond what was on the surface from a competition standpoint when you were making your decision whether or not you were going to transfer.
Yeah.
You looked at the culture and you said, I don't want to do the branding what's been done to me.
It still happened to him.
And it still happened to him, even with you leaving. So, and you have made comments about your conversation that you had with Dante Moore. And being when he asked you certain things and how open you were with getting an understanding of what him and his people were looking for, and being honest enough to say, hey, Notre Dame might not be the right place for you then.
Yeah.
So people after the show was like, man, Malik is being too honest. Like, he's messing it up for recruits that might come. And we talk about this all the time, right? We think we love CJ Carr in the 24 class. We both love Deuce Knight in the 25 class. Like, difference makers. Deuce Knight ain't thinking about no 4 for 40, man. He's from Mississippi, bro. He in SEC country. That man, he wants to see if Sam Hartman can throw that football around the field. If the Notre Dame wide receivers can make play, he wants to see something on tape. Show me what I can be in that offense, Jared Parker. I'll let my mom and dad think about that 4 for 40. So if you're talking to Deuce Knight, like, what is the honest conversation if his parents come to you and say, yo, you were the last lefty
Yeah.
at Notre Dame. What's up with it?
Man, honestly, I'll say we both waiting to see. I think it would be a good opportunity this year for Marcus Freeman and Jared Parker and Gino Gaduli to put something together that's sexy on the field. You got to recruit on the field just like you recruit off the field. And on the field is even more important because you have to have these recruits envision themselves playing on in that offense, especially the quarterback position. If he's got Sam Hartman handing the ball off and throwing out routes and not really doing the things that Deuce Knight is great at, it's just not a good fit, as a player, because you're trying to see yourself, i.e. looking at Tennessee, they just throwing it deep every time, and Joe Milton got a cannon, and they the same height. So it's just about perception. And then the optics of Notre Dame, I mean, hey, we have to present something that's worth coming to. Everybody knows it was a sinking ship before. So yeah, anybody want to join something when it's a disaster because they can, come up faster, i.e. Sam Hartman. That's like going to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He got a golden ticket. It wasn't expected. He like, hell yeah, I go to Notre Dame. Who wouldn't? But it's also a huge challenge at that position because it's feast or famine. There ain't a lot of love in that position from the quarterbacks in the room with you to the fans if you're not winning. So it's something you have to have internally if you want to take on that challenge, which is a little different than going to a Texas A&M or Tennessee where it's football. At Notre Dame, you got to kind of work the room. You got to be able to talk to different people and be in different settings and stuff. And it's a whole encompassing thing. You think Marcus Freeman is doing everything, going to the White House, hanging with the Mannings, probably at SpaceX or something, just imagine doing all that. And then you got to go play football. That's the quarterback position at Notre Dame, what it's regarded as in the college football landscape. So for a guy like Deuce Knight, if you want all of that, yeah, it's available. But not many guys are taking it because it's also a position where it's like a deep hole. You fall in that hole, you just be falling. A lot of guys don't get out of that hole. It affects them past football. So, for Deuce Knight, you looking at that thing like, man, at least y'all got some guys getting drafted. Y'all got some guys in the NFL balling. I mean, if y'all gonna go through all of that, so it is a more of a, you get a career jammed into 4 or 5 years at Notre Dame where you experience way more than you would from a regular college quarterback in the landscape. So I think it's a great challenge. It's not up to a lot of guys. Hell, we had the number one quarterback in CJ's class not be able to take the challenge, and he didn't even make it to a practice. Yeah. Think about that. Number one quarterback in the class go to Notre Dame, don't even make it to a spring practice. Where he like, man, I ain't taking this. So it just shows you a lot. But if you are able to get in that position and do half as good, shit, throw one touchdown. Look kind of decent.
Yeah.
You're going to be up for all the awards. You're going to be on everybody's TV every day. You fart wrong, you're going to be on the news for some controversy. But that's what happens when you playing at the Notre Dame position. Hell, if you winning, everything good. You take a private plane with Marcus Freeman. You see them boys flying out. First of all, we have never done that. They just hanging out with Jimmy Clausen and Cali, going to New York and going on TV. What is, first of all, what have we done to do all that? I mean, they got us projected winning the same amount of games as next year, as last year. Sam Hartman didn't make no effect on Vegas. But we got Sam on Dove commercials. He on ESPN just chatting it up. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to put something behind it. It's great recruiting. You got Notre Dame on your TV on the offseason, like, we got a reality TV show. But now, people going to tune in to that Ohio State game, which y'all boys going to be out there. Don't go out there looking like ducks, because then it's like, man, y'all an unserious football team.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I think the OC. Definitely, the OC is a lot going to be on the OC this year to make it creative. Obviously the running backs, Tyree estimate they're going to have to carry the load from the beginning, but then Hartman going to have to throw that thing. The receivers going to have to make some plays. And but the OC going to have to be creative with it though, because we got guys and we got to be creative to get the guys the ball. That's how we got to go.
Don't let us be guessing. That's all. Don't let us be guessing going in there being like, hell, who gonna make a play? We got all these guys and ain't nobody making plays. And Sam Hartman is a catalyst for that. We're not asking Sam to be Aaron Rodgers. We're asking him to be his brother Jordan Rodgers, maybe, be a slight similar, but we ain't asking you to. We just need you to be able to put us at ease. Don't have guys running down the field we seen on TV and you just can't get it there. Had to have your boy going crazy, tweeting up the storm. But Sam sees the opportunity. He's like, look, all I got to do is be happy. With a better team, I'm first round. I'm about to jump. I'm about to skyrocket.
I like it, though. He betting on himself. I like that he betting on himself. Yeah. I like it. I like the competitiveness. I like it. I like it a lot. I like him as a quarterback, He don't got to do too much. Just, he got a great O-line, some great running backs, got some great receivers, Just make it easy on yourself. Make it simple.
I think, and that's a huge deal to be a new quarterback coming into a program like this. And obviously he's had success. He's a veteran. He's all he's got to do is come show up and play with the energy that he's been playing with. And I agree with Malik. You don't need to ask him to necessarily do anything special, but you get special things out of a guy like that when they're able to be themselves and they're able to come in and feel the rhythm and the flow of the offense in a way that's conducive to how they're really want to play the game. And so being able to get a guy like Sam and have an offense that ultimately creates an energy that people get excited about again will be huge. But man, having the running backs that we have is such a big deal, man, for a new quarterback coming in, because being able to hand the ball off and produce as much damage as we were able to produce last year is just we got to keep doing that for sure.
Absolutely.
And if we do that effectively, that opens it up for Sam. And really, it does. It kind of goes back to the offensive coordinator at this point. Now it's hey, you got all the tools, brother. We put all the tools in your tool belt. I know we're going to talk about tight ends and stuff like that later And that's not something that I've ever thought about, I think, because every year that I look at Notre Dame, there's just always another guy that shows up when somebody leaves. So I'm just kind of like expecting that to happen again. It's tight end you for real. And like guys show up there and we're like, where did this dude come from? And they're like, I don't know, but he's the next, Tyler Eifert, or he's the next Michael Mayer. Like they just seem to just spontaneously come out of Notre Dame's program, which is fun. So I'm sure that somebody's going to be stepping up to the plate there. But
That's right.
I'm just excited, and I have a lot of expectations. I'm going to the game in Ireland to start off the season. And so
nice.
I'm really excited to see what these guys put together this year.
Yeah, Jared Parker has no excuse. We gave you the finest tools in the land. We don't want you to mess around and build us no barn. Build us that one house ranch style with the fixings and the pool in the back. Yeah,
we got that O-line, man.
Yeah, don't give me no farm.
Put anything behind you. Put anybody behind that O-line, we good.
That's what I'm saying. All four of us can play right now, and Jared Parker better scheme it up.
Yeah,
and we come out with victories. Come on, we got the O-line, we got the receivers that are hungry. Chancey Stuckey put work, and then you got Aldrich, you got Jadarian, you got Jabron, you got guys that can make it happen. Now Sam Hartman, man, it's like the expectations I worry about because he ain't at Wake Forest. People gonna be at the games, people gonna be watching on TV. So all these, frivolous picks and interceptions he's throwing he's like, hey, I'm just trying stuff. It's not a trying place.
Nah, yeah. You know that fifth year, you ain't got much of you got your leash pretty tight. Your leash real tight. You ain't got too much. You ain't got too much. Freedom out there.
But the good thing is I would love to see him drop his gonads on some big throws. I think if anything, that's what you can provide. Is we're gonna provide the running game. We're gonna open it up and do some screens and stuff. But on that 3rd and 8. That 3rd and 10 in the red zone, where we gotta throw it, and we got the matchup. I don't want to see a check down. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see a check down. I want to see a strike.
And what did we say the other day, Left? Like, look, Sam Hartman was brought here for 3 games.
That's right.
Marcus Freeman recognized halfway through the season last year, like, hey, let me tell you something. This quarterback room, it ain't it. This ain't it.
And he got the Alabama quarterback.
And he was honest with the quarterbacks that were there and told them, hey, we going to the portal. We just want to let y'all know because this ain't it. And both of those guys got up out of there.
Yeah.
They get Sam Hartman. He's brought you for 3 games. USC, Ohio State,
and
Clemson. That's what it is. You're an 8-month rental, my brother.
Yeah.
For these 3 games. You betting on you. We're betting on you. Let's go. If you go 3-0 in those games, we got a chance to be in the CFP.
You might get your check sold in the bookstore or something.
You might.
It is what it is. But this is the challenge. We have running backs that we can hang our hat on because we've seen the success. I'll hang my hat on Aldrich. Heck yeah. Heck, because of running backs at Notre Dame being successful early, Josh Adams' first carry was a touchdown as a freshman. CJ comes over, pops in.
1,000-yard season.
Starts going crazy.
Come on
like
now.
the running back position at Notre Dame, we can hang our hat on that position.
We solid.
We're solid.
We solid.
For one person.
Now we start asking Notre Dame fans, who are you hanging your hat on in that wide receiver room? You can tell me about all the promise, but who are you hanging your hat on? It gets real quiet. It gets real quiet. And I'll say it again.
Oh, tight end. No, that's not.
No, that's tight end. And we might get a Cole Kmet to pop up. Because see, Cole Kmet was that unknown year. Tight end showed up against Georgia, and all of a sudden it's like, yo, who? This dude he's killing.
Yeah.
Could it be Mitchell Evans, who had a good Gator Bowl, right? Could it be Holden Stays? Eli Raritan was thought of in that same ilk. 2 ACLs he's coming back from. You might not see him until the middle of the season. Cooper Flanagan is a freshman, but he's not thought of. But we'll see what he can do in fall camp. They have numbers. They have talent. But one of those guys, they're going to have to step forward. Who are you hanging your hat on, man? Because Ohio State's going to line up and say, hey, we don't think you can get past us.
I mean, hell, CJ, what were you thinking? Crossing over, knowing that hell, we running back short. And this was in the season. They're like, oh shoot, Tyree down. Who we got? CJ, you do.
You just gotta go. Hey, like, man, hey, what Coach Kelly said is next man in, next man up. You know, hey, next man up.
Yo,
that's what you look
He's
by.
just
That's
trying to get
his
the
game.
handoffs right, middle
You
of
know, I
the
can't
game.
get the handoff. But, hey, I'm still run that thing.
Malik,
that's
we
the
knew.
thing about it, man. it's this game you play, and like you gotta. That's the thing I try to teach the younger generation too, man. Like this game we play, you just gotta be ready for anything.
Yeah,
man. For
anything.
Game, just be ready to go. Any position, whatever time, you just gotta go. They put you at, just go do it and go do your best.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yo, we used to watch CJ. We used to watch you like when they were like always trying to set up something. Even when I was there, I remember trying to set up something for you in the slot and getting you in space. And I just remember like watching you get the ball in practice and being like, "Yo, this dude is a running back, bro. Like this guy,
He's too big to be
this
sliced,
guy,
like
this guy. If we just hand him the ball, like it's gonna be scary." And so like when they moved you to running back, like I was like, "Oh yeah, like that makes sense right there."
It was fun until I got to the league.
I think
1 year. All you did was one.
That's it. That's it. You just need one of those years, man.
Absolutely.
I think I know, Shaun, we were talking about a little bit about Tyree and his transition.
Yeah, let's get to it, man. Let's talk about that transition. Look, he has been that guy similar. They've been trying to get him in space. Last year they had Logan Diggs. Logan Diggs transfers to LSU. Estimate, like, oh man, we have to get the ball in his hands 10 to 12 times a game. They just felt like they had to try. And now he moves to the slot position. And from what I saw in spring, he is going to be or can be a difficult matchup for linebackers or safeties, especially on crossing routes, quick swirl routes, a la Julian Edelman, that type of stuff. And he could become a guy for Sam Hartman early on because teams haven't seen Notre Dame with a player like that since, well, I'll take that back. That's actually what I was about to say not Amir. Who got injured, messed up that Avery Davis. Last spring, he was supposed to be that guy. Avery was supposed to be that guy. He gets injured like 2 weeks before Ohio State. And it just messes up the entire passing flow for the offense, in my opinion, because I felt like that was one of Tyler's go-to guys that he was going to have going into that game and going into the season. And how difficult, because you went from slot to running back, which seemed to be more natural for you. What is it going to be like for Chris Tyree going from running back for 3 years, 4 years, and now going to the slot?
Oh, he's going to love it. He is going to absolutely love it. Listen, when I say, like, playing that game, for one, they're going to have to just get them in open space first. Give them jet sweeps, start them off, get them, quick outside zones. Same thing, get them run the ball, get them quick little screens, just so he can get used to, getting the ball and just getting back open field. And then once he gets that confidence up, you start throwing the ball on crossers. He's going to start catching it in stride, and he'll be catching it running through defenders because he's just so used to running through linemen all the time. So, he can hit by safeties. He can, all these easy hits now. So, man, he going to love it, being in the open space. Like, I wish I stayed at receiver, honestly. Because, I love playing receiver. Running back, that running back life is tough between them tackles. It's real. It's real between them tackles. It's real between them tackles.
Oh shoot!
Isn't that the journey of a young NFL guy? The versatility of being able to be in the backfield, being in the slot.
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
tough is it on a professional level as opposed to you made the transition in college where they kind of guided you through it. You went from safety, then you went to slot, then you went to running back.
Yeah, professional level, obviously it's going to be, if they that transition is, they give you the playbook and you learn it. It ain't much like, obviously you're going to have somebody, people helping you and and it's always, as much as the organization wants to help you and get you into that position to be, into that position to help you and get you playing and stuff. But as far as yourself, like they gonna get a playbook. Hey, this is what you gotta know. This is what you gonna learn. This is what you gotta basically gotta do. You just gotta do. So that's how it goes. If you don't do it, somebody else gonna do it.
And that's what's crazy too, because I mean, you think about being versatile like that, you have to know pretty much everything as a quarterback. You got to know slot, and then if they throw you on the running back, and then they throw you at the outside position, I think that makes it more encompassing of having to take the pride of learning it. But it's definitely got to add to you staying in the league. If
Absolutely,
you
no. I mean, that's what you want,
sure.
man. I mean, you just want a knowledge of football. You want as much knowledge of football as you can get, because from team to team, you go from team to team, and every team basically do the same thing. It's just different terminology. So if you go to, I went from Houston to Tampa in the same season, and they basically played the same type of offense, but they just had different terminology. So I just had to pick up different things.
In the middle of the season, a whole new team.
Yeah, so I mean,
and
it's
you
just
just
like
gotta know it. They be like, all right,
you got to right off rip. I mean, they like, you get there, they give you the playbook, and the next day they're like, all right, they basically expect you to know it.
Yeah.
Did you even move?
I was just in a hotel.
Yeah,
in a hotel.
Playing in the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That stuff's nuts, man.
So Cam, for you, how do you see the move for Chris Tyree? Do you think that's one of the most exciting things to watch in fall camp and to see how it evolves going into the season?
Yeah, I feel like when I watch Chris as a runner, like he's one of those guys that has elite speed and elite change of direction. He looks like really pretty when he runs, like when he gets upright and he gets an open space, like that guy's gone for the most part. And I think I'm excited to see him like run a 10-yard out and like really like see what that looks like and how he's able to like I'm really interested to see him, run a crossing route like CJ was talking about and catch that ball in stride. And I think one of the other cool things about, like we were talking a little bit about guys that have been able to be like more of those versatile players at like Notre Dame. I think Kai Williams was one of those guys. Like he was, dude, he was exceptional at like being able to run the ball and being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. I think CJ is, one of the guys that we've had more recently that demonstrated that sort of versatility as a running back and somebody that we could line up in the slot and make plays. Like I can't remember a time like in the last like decade or so, like really where we've had a running back like transition to that like full-time like slot position and just like kill it. Like I think we could like I think that's such a natural transition for a running back that's used to like we run lots of routes as a running back, especially in practice. Like there's only like so much time that you get to like really dedicate to the running game. And so while we're not doing that, like we're either like doing pass pro stuff or we're in there with the receivers. And so we're getting a lot of like reps and opportunities with this stuff. And often guys have, caught the ball out of the backfield in high school or been in the slot position in high school. And so really it's just getting back into that flow, getting back into that rhythm. I would say the biggest like difference that I remember, because I was making that transition in the CFL a little bit, was really those balls like over the middle or those crossing routes over the middle, and just the anticipation of like being in the middle of something, like trying to catch something. When you're like running back, you're neurologically stimulated to avoid contact at all times. And as a receiver, you can't be thinking, you got to turn that filter off. And that's what I say is like one of the biggest challenges that I've seen from running backs that are trying to make that transition. But I think that with the right sort of work, even on the mental side of things, you're able to really transition past that and get to a place where, you feel comfortable and like, man, this is giving me the opportunity to get the ball in space, which is the most exciting thing for a guy like that, a versatile athlete that knows that, man, if you just get me the ball in space, like as a returner, as a running back that's been able to show you like how I can make big plays. Give me the ability to be out there with one defender and make him miss, and then, you know, and get that yak. I think that would be amazing to have a guy like that in the slot, especially for Sam Hartman in this transition, having a strong running game and then having a key slot guy that can make big plays like that. I mean, you look at the Patriots offense for the, you know, while Tom Brady was there, they made a living off of that, man. They made a living off of like versatile running backs and slot guys that could make big plays, and then opens up the perimeter for stuff that, like, you know, that ultimately is what everybody wants to see. But this is where, you know, you develop that consistency, I think, where you can get, you know, you can get a lot of productivity and consistency out of an offense that doesn't get you stuck in being like the deep ball type team, but really makes you a nice, versatile, intermediate threat.
It's interesting because the more I listen to both of you guys talk about how effective he can be, I start to see what he can open up for the tight ends.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In
Totally.
the seam, across the middle of the field, combination routes with both of them. You know, one going to the outside, tight end clearing the seam. You can bring Chris Tyree on the swirl route back to the outside. All those types of things that they can do that's similar to what New England did with Edelman and Gronkowski in that type of situation. Yeah, Notre Dame fans should be very excited about the possibilities that awaits Jared Parker as an OC.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, I really hope we just use his speed for everything uses speed for everything he has, because he's a 4-3 guy, and we need to make him a 4-3 guy on jet sweeps, everything. He needs to be fast as much as possible, you know.
Look, at least they have someone now that can properly run a quick screen.
Right.
Like, they've been throwing to big body receivers trying to get outside quick screens, and it's like, no, you don't have the guy. Yeah. Now they have a guy, and they have an incoming freshman that's the same type of receiver, Caleb Smith, who hopefully can kind of get in and be that type of guy for the offense as well. Have you for just a little bit longer, Cam. So we want to transition to Jadarian Price, who is coming off the Achilles. Is a tough injury, man.
Yeah.
That's a tough injury. We're talking about a young man that was going to be, the way things were going, heading into fall camp, he was going to be the starting running back last year. And that's with Logan Diggs and Audric Estime. And now if you look at him, he's definitely been in the weight room. There's no doubt he's put in the physical work. Because he's cut up, looks the part, ready to go, full go when they start practice fall camp next week. But I was telling you, Cam, I just happened to watch a Boogie Cousins documentary last week. I was sitting at home flipping through, and I'm like, man, let me watch this. And it was about his comeback from his torn Achilles. And he talked about how grueling everything was physically, but he was like, once I got into a groove, man, I'm physically back. I feel good. He said, but the toughest thing is trying to find that place that I had, that I knew I can go out there and do whatever I wanted to do on the court against anybody at any time. And he said, I was trying to get that back mentally, and that was the biggest struggle. So you can talk about this from both sides of it, but what should Notre Dame fans' expectations be for this young man returning from this injury? And both of you, like, you're in Prosper, Texas, and you work with athletes and you train them. You know, what is really facing this young man in this return? Because Notre Dame fans have high expectations, but should they be tempering that and allowing him to really work himself back into what he can become?
Yeah, man. I was able to go back and watch some of Jadarian's high school highlights, which shout out to Denison, Texas. Haven't been there in a minute, probably since middle school. But was loving watching him out there on that field, tear up the turf. Dude is a heck of a player. And was able to watch, obviously, like in the spring game, we saw him get loose on that screen pass. And, was able to see him turn on the Jets again. So, like, that always feels, I would say, just like even moments like that as an athlete coming back from an injury are so key just to gain your confidence back, because you're showing your body, like, hey, like we got this, like, can do this again. And that's the biggest thing I would say. Like, when you suffer a major injury, a traumatic injury, especially like an Achilles, which is such a key component to the whole like musculoskeletal like chain and how to absorb the force of gravity. It's really the first like key ligament that's taking on the force of gravity as your foot hits the ground. And if that's not like working properly, then you can't modulate the force that is going up your leg, and it just feels awkward. It doesn't feel good. You feel out of step. And I didn't see any of that from him in the spring game when he was making some of the plays that he was making. And that to me is really exciting, because his body is really what's going to like teach him how to go back out. If you're in your head, like, and you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about, oh my God, like, how can I not get past this? Why am I stuck here? Like, all of those things will keep you perpetually stuck in that cycle. You got to get out there and you got to feel it again. You got to feel in your body, not be thinking. We call this the flow state. Like, you've got to be out there in the flow state, feeling like you were doing the damage that you were doing before that injury. And once that clicks in, I would say that confidence comes pretty easily after that, because you got, as long as you're not like, dealing with nagging stuff there, and you feel like confident in that tissue and how it's going to hold up and everything. But when you're thinking about all of those things, it takes away from your ability to be creative in the moment. It takes away from your ability to be present in the moment, because your mind is elsewhere. It's thinking about, is this going to hold up? Am I going to be okay? Am I the same player that I used to be because of this? All like very relevant questions that athletes think when they're going through that injury phase. But yeah, I feel pretty confident based off of what I've seen that it doesn't look like Jadarian's really dealing with that sort of stuff based off of what I saw in the spring game. And so I think that guys can expect to see some really cool stuff from him this year. And we were talking about guys that are versatile out of the backfield. Go and throw on Jadarian's highlight tape from high school and go see like what that guy was able to do, like with a screen pass, and what that guy was able to do with like a wheel route. I mean, like, this dude is elite. Like, he is a full package running back. Like, and he's got elite speed. I'm very high on a guy like this. If he can come in and get his swagger, I think the biggest challenge for a running back room, like, and just the running backs in general at this point, is like, when you have so much talent, like being able to spread it around in a way that keeps everyone happy.
Exactly.
That's just tough, man. Like, I know me and CJ could probably both speak to this, but like, like, it's just salty when like you're the guy that like goes out there and tears it up, and you come back into the locker room and you can kind of like, just feel that the guys that were, in there with you, that are going to work with you every day and stuff like that, if they didn't get as much of a time to shine like that game, like, you can feel that. I remember, being the guy that wasn't getting, my time to shine, and like having to like fight, bringing that negative energy back into the locker room and stuff. And so you got a guy like Audric Estime that is an absolute hoss. Like, the dude is like, he's got to be the starter coming back, got to be the guy that like is like, he showed us everything that he needed to show us last year. That guy's got the heart, that guy's got the passion, that guy like will break. I mean, he just breaks tackle after tackle. He's got a very Marshawn Lynch type vibe to me. And dude, you can't not hand the ball off to that guy. So while we've got that going on. I think there does have to be an element of patience for some of these other guys.
Absolutely.
And really just like that, like even for them and themselves, like that's more important than like the fans being patient. It's actually like these guys, realizing like, hey, there are moments in this game, like there just are. And sometimes it's not your moment. And if you can be humble enough to like see that and know that, your moment will come. Like, and who would be an awesome person to talk to about this at some point would be Joe Schmidt, and like how he had his moment. Because like a guy that maybe never even expected to like get on the field at Notre Dame ends up having his moment, and he was ready. And now he's made history there. I think that's all you can really do as a player at that level at Notre Dame, knowing that like obviously a guy like Jadarian is going to have huge expectations and huge goals and like want to achieve like big things there. But I do think that it will be like a matter of patience and their ability to distribute the ball in a way that, creates a good flow for that running back room. And it can be done. Like we've seen it done. We've seen people been able to share the rock, like in ways to where running backs all are eating and they're like feeling good about everything. But it is a delicate balance. And that's actually, I think, more than all the mental stuff around his injury. I think all that's good based off of what I can see. I would say that's going to be the thing that, is the biggest like pitfall for the running back room will be you've got so much talent that are you going to be able to get over the egos in the room when it's only, one guy's time to shine in a game? Because sometimes it has to be one guy. It has to be.
Yeah. And I right before, because I want to get this in here for both of you guys before you have to scoot out, Cam. I remember the first time I talked to Dylan McCullough when he got the job. And he's standing there, and I'm like, yo, what do you want your running back room to look like? He said, I don't want the same running back. He said, I want 4 to 5 different type of guys.
Yeah.
He said, that's what I envision. And if you look at this running back room now, Audric Estime and Logan Diggs were very similar.
Yeah.
And what they could do and what they could run. Like teams, if one came in, a defense to do, okay, this is what we can look for. I watched Jadarian Payne is your typical, I hope your linebackers overrun this because I'm cutting all the way back. His vision and feet are bananas. You know what I'm saying? And he could take it a distance. He might not have that elite 4.3, but if you let him get to that second level, he can hurt you.
Yeah.
He's totally different than Audric Estime. Then you bring in Jadarian Price, the explosiveness. If he can be in that package, the screen passes, just being involved in the passing game. Then you bring in Jeremiah Love. If you haven't watched his film from last year in St. Louis, this dude was doing everything. This dude was catching swing passes, laughing at DBs, like going to the end zone. That's just how explosive he is.
Yeah.
He has a different, and now when guys check in, especially these young guys, you don't have tape on them yet. So now defenses are like, yo, what? I'm expecting them to come with duo or power or inside. But a guy like Jadarian Price, they could effectively let him really run off tackle the majority of the time to get him acclimated and say, no, we're not going to run you inside quite yet. We're going to screen pass you, do this and do that, and really give a lot of different looks to defenses. So just talk about that and waiting for your time to shine. Which freshman running backs at Notre Dame have gotten those times and been ready. And then when you get the time to shine, having something tailored to you for you to be successful.
Yeah. No, I would say especially for the coaching staff, I would just say keep it simple. Give the guys the exact same plays they scored on in high school. Give them those exact type plays. If they scoring on screens, they scoring on, swing passes, give them those plays when they get in there for those freshman year. Like, who cares if the defense knows? Because if they're good enough, they're going to get around them. They're explosive enough, they're going to get around them anyway. Like, we got hell of a good players. So, I'm always with the point, even if the defense knows what we're doing, who cares? Make them stop it. You know, like we better than them, and we see ourselves better than them, so let's be better than them. So I'm always at the point, hey, give the guys something that they know. You know, give guys outside zone. You know, give estimate power. You know, let the guys know exactly what they're gonna do, and let them go run it and make the defense stop it.
Yeah. I just I would say I really resonate with what you were sharing with Dylan McCullough, and just like the whole concept of like we really do have a lot of different backs. We've got a lot of talent. I totally forgot about Jeremiah Love there for a second. And like it really is kind of crazy. I would say like this year, like I kind of like I see Estime as like the dude that sets the tone as like a real power back that has the ability to make explosive plays still, which is really unique from that power back type of dynamic. So like that's my guy that like right now, as far as energetics go and like how the team was able to like respond to that dude, he just creates such force and momentum that you can't not like keep giving. You got to keep giving that guy the ball. Like we're excited about all this other stuff around him, but like that's the dude. And then change up the pace with guys like Jadarian, give, you know, guys like Jeremiah Love a chance. Like get some of those guys in there that can make like the sick cutbacks and give them the opportunity to like, you know, to make some plays. I think I totally resonate with what CJ's saying too. Like, you know, even if a defense like knows, like they know what's coming, they don't ever know like what's coming. Like they don't ever fully know. There's always a little bit of that doubt in here. Like, hey, they're showing me something. I think I know what it is, but like they could be fooling me. And you got to always just play off of that and run with the confidence of, we're going to run this. And you may know very well that we're running this at you right now, or you may think that you know that, but like we're going to run it and we're going to run it and we're going to run it as long as it's continuing to work. And then like when you think you know that we're coming at it again, that's where, you know, we're going to switch it up on you. We're going to spin it different. So,
yo, you guys have to, if you have not, both of you, check out the Derek Curry interview. He tells a story about his senior year facing freshman Reggie Bush. And he said, man, in football, sometimes you can scout, scheme, know, and the dude is just better. He's just flat out better. And he said, man, we knew the play. Reggie comes out, and I'm like, wheel route. And he said, I started getting my depth before the snap. The ball was snapped, ball was thrown, and he said, the ball is there. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. And he said, all of a sudden, Reggie Bush just flies by me, dude, and catches the ball in the end zone. And he was like, I knew it was coming. I got my depth. The dude is just better. And Cam, that's what it is. When you have the athletes in the backfield, you're right. We're just better, man. We're better. It doesn't matter what you see, what you think is coming. We're going to run it again, and we're going to kick your butt. We're going to kick your butt. And this, I said this, and fans got upset. Cam, you will be there in person. I said, I'm going to be rather upset. And left is back. I said, look, and remember left, fans got mad at us. They started giving us excuses about the change and how the clock is going to be running and how Navy limits possessions. I said, man, Drew Pine was up on this team 35-0 at halftime. I don't want to hear nothing about Navy. Man, you're 10 times better than Navy from a talent standpoint.
Yeah.
You go to Ireland, man, you better blow these dudes off that field.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
I don't want to hear. You got Sam Hartman now? Man, you better put up 40 plus.
Yeah, this is big. This is a showcase.
It's a showcase.
This ain't a competition.
I don't need no 10 points.
But Estimate needs to touch the rock about 5 times that first drive.
Yeah.
And then
that's cool.
Then they can go from there. He got to touch that rock first, though. He need to be the first one touching that rock.
Man,
I agree.
Man, defensive players need to be scoring touchdowns. Special teams need to be scoring touchdowns. Man, it needs to be
everybody goes crazy. Yeah,
that's an all-out assault. I don't want to hear about Navy up nothing.
Yeah, it's
Navy.
recreation, it's an expedition. You know how the NBA teams go to China and play the little Chinese teams, and then they do all the theatrics and they ooh and on. This is us playing the Washington Generals. This trip is about expanding the brand to Ireland. This has nothing to do with the game. The game is just for people to be like, okay, I got something to do on that Saturday, because this is not come on. We should be
Notre
signing
Dame,
autographs at
Notre
half,
Dame
getting the
left.
real leprechauns out, a little halftime show with, what I'm saying? This is not
Notre Dame has Nick Saban stepping to the podium line, talking about I went through the Ferrari factory and people were talking about roll tide. Stop. Alabama is not an international European football brand. Nobody in Italy
It's talking about
screaming
roll
roll
tide.
tide. Just stop playing. Notre Dame is sold out, rocking it over there in the soccer stadium. Now you're trying to counter with, I'm sure everybody in Ferrari knew Nick Saban's in the building. Make sure you say roll tide.
Yeah.
But don't try to act like, come on, man. No, the brand ain't Notre Dame.
Notre Dame walking to Ferrari, they got a green and gold car already sitting there waiting with the Indy on the hood,
the Clover.
They ain't gonna be no roll tide. They're gonna be like, look, take this selection of pimped out Notre Dame colored vehicles, that whole thing.
Man, but look, Cam, we thank you for giving us some time today, man. We know you got to go. We're going to continue the conversation with CJ and with Bleak before we get out of here. But we appreciate you, brother. We look forward to having you back on camp. So give me the one biggest thing that you feel like has to happen in this fall camp for Notre Dame? Because for the first time, we don't have a quarterback battle going into fall camp. That for me is huge.
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing that any team needs to focus on going into camp is really syncing up. Like, it's all about syncing up as a team unit. Like, at the end of the this is what I do for a living now with, coaching like players and teams, but especially when I'm working with teams, is you got to create team flow. You have to generate a collective consciousness, like, with your team that becomes automatic. And elite teams have have connections within their offense, within their defense, that are just unique. People are synced up, and that's what makes football so special from all these other sports, and why I love it so much as a team sport, is that it requires such synchronization and such awareness of not only yourself and you doing your job. I think we beat that dead horse with the do your job stuff. It really now is about be the expression of you that you need to be out there and feel the freedom that you've got your guys and they got your back. And if you believe that in your heart and that, based off of your experience in camp, based off of being in the dorms together, based off of playing games just in between periods at practice, whatever you're doing, all of it matters to sync up and to gain trust with your teammates. And I think the best practices of how to do this, and I don't see a lot of teams do this anymore, but it's actually it's actually being able to hear kids' stories, put kids up in front of the team every day in camp and give them the opportunity to share their story for 3 to 5 minutes and just hear their background and where they came from and all that stuff. I go back and look at my career at Notre Dame, and I'm catching up with guys that I played with for 4 years, and I didn't know parts about their background and how they grew up and where they grew up and just all of that, and it just makes such a difference. I know it sounds tedious or sounds like something that's not maybe as important, but dude, I can't stress how important that actually is. I watched a team here in Dallas that we installed some of these principles with, and their first year they go to the semifinals at state, and then they win the state championship 4 years in a row after that. Being synced up in consciousness is a huge part of this game, and I think that's the biggest thing that you can do in camp.
That's huge, especially I think, you know, prime example, me, CJ, and Breezy and Shoemate, we would just sit in CJ room and watch Tavon Austin highlight, you know, on a Friday night. We just in there just watching the highlight, playing FIFA. And you know, going through that summer camp that next year, I felt like we were just in sync. Me and CJ was in sync since our first spring game where I threw my touchdown to him. And every time after that, I was like, yo, anytime we got in, I said, it's just me and you, bro.
Every time, bro. It was always
and it grew like that with him and Amir and CJ and Will. And then by the time we came out, it was like, oh, we're winning. I felt like I knew everything CJ was really good at, everything Breezy was really good at. And after that camp, I'm like, there's no way we're losing.
It was so easy. It was easy. Like, I mean, we talk about the Texas game so much because it was just like easy. Like it wasn't nobody even had to try. Like we were just like everybody just do your job and you were good. Like I mean,
it didn't matter what the defense was doing.
Nothing.
Right, left, middle, throw it, run it, play. That just shows. I mean, we didn't even play the fourth quarter. The start of the fourth quarter. Yeah. That's what an in-sync team looks like, where you're so good. They was like, look, y'all chill, but I gotta put y'all on ice because y'all going too crazy.
See, Malik, did you tell CJ that you publicly apologized to Notre Dame fans on the show?
Yeah.
CJ, did you catch it?
No, what happened?
Yeah. Malik publicly, because you know, on the play he got hurt. He wasn't supposed to do what he was supposed to do. That was just Malik being Malik.
He could have went down.
Should have threw it.
You know what I'm saying? And he publicly said, look, I should have stayed with the play.
Yeah.
And I probably would have been healthy. We would have run the table. We would have faced Alabama.
Would have beat Clemson that game.
Would have beat Bama.
Yeah.
That would have been us versus Bama in that championship for sure.
And the crazy thing is we wouldn't be on this 35-year hiatus without a championship.
Yeah.
And I give a lot of credit. It took a lot. It took a lot for Malik to say, you know what? When I went to the sideline and Coach Kelly told me, why did you change the play? He was right. And I'm sorry, Notre Dame fans. That was big of you, love. But I figured since CJ was right here, that's CJ. He cost him a championship.
The thing is,
scored after that play.
The thing about that though,
scored after that.
The reason Malik was our quarterback is that he would change. All right,
Cam.
I'm gonna get with you, Cam. And the reason Malik was our quarterback was because he would change the play and put it in the right play.
I change it, they'd be mad as hell. They'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I see something."
That's what we wanted. Like, bro, I was talking to Breeze about the other night. We was like, man, like the reason we were so good because Malik would see somebody like, hey, my Breeze is over there 1-on-1. I'm throwing it to him. Check it. You know, like Will 1-on-1.
Yo,
I'm throwing it to
him. You gotta connect us with Breezy.
Oh yeah,
that's dude. Breezy's been wanting to guess. I'm like, Breezy is dude.
Breezy has been here and knows like all the buried bodies and everything because
Breezy know everything.
Played from the beginning since he got there. Been around everybody. Knows all the people we played against. I mean,
was Breezy like one of the first impact freshman receivers?
Yeah,
in the Oklahoma game. Yeah,
he had the big Oklahoma catch. That championship year.
Yeah. Basically what they could have done with the Tobias Merriweather last year all year.
Yeah.
Here are your plays. You stretching the defense.
I really think it's a mindset we had in the office. You know, it was a collective mindset that said we're just gonna be super stingy. We super lazy in recruiting. We're gonna do the bare minimum just enough. But because we got players that are inspired, they'll just do the rest and we can just coast. And that mindset has just been hanging around, you know, and it affects all areas. You know, it's an optic thing. If we look good doing it, they won't go beyond the means of looking good doing it. We look good doing it, but it's really like we can make it easier for ourselves. They're not gonna do that. Mm-hmm. Like, why don't we? If y'all making it look good, it's good, but it wouldn't always be good. You know what I mean? And then the politics play into. I think there's more politics at Notre Dame football than a casual program that's in college football that's top, whatever. I just think it's just more that goes into
it. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, it definitely a lot of politics going to Notre Dame. You know, it's not just, especially early on. Like if you try to play early on, a lot of politics is going into it. Like, you know, if
when you look at
maybe once you
like,
get to your junior, senior year, if you earn it, then there's not much politics. But when you first get there, you know, you got some people who legacies and stuff. You know, they might just be in there like whatever, boom. You know, it don't matter. But you know, there's some people getting opportunities that, you know, just off of who they know, not really what they know. So,
but if you can sneak in there early,
yeah,
like a Breeze, like a Will Fuller, like a Smooth, you're out of there in 3.
You're out of there in 3.
Easy.
Yeah,
that's why it's like you first get there in Notre Dame, and you get in there early, and you get a couple plays or something. You know you're going to the league. I.e. Jerry Tillery. You know, Jerry Tillery got in there freshman.
Got in there early.
Corey Robinson was a top draft pick as a
Corey
sophomore.
could have went first round. Like,
I mean, that's why Notre Dame is so sweet.
Yeah, that's really is. I mean, because you on TV every week. You go on national television every week. You showing
good teams.
You showing that you can be the best player every week. You know, so
1 year you'd switch positions, go to league 3rd round. Like that is so cool.
And it's crazy, bro. So I play like 8 games.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And look, this is because Malik and I, man, we had a full discussion. It was me, you, and Max Redfield.
Yeah.
Had this full discussion out in Cali. And I'm like, if you ever saw Deshaun Watson out here at a restaurant, would you ever walk up to him and say, "You lucky I got hurt"? Because that literally, that game in Clemson
of everything.
And Notre Dame ended up playing, could have changed the entire trajectory
of college football.
Of like Clemson,
Dynasty,
him, Notre Dame. And like, do you guys really think about
Brian Kelly would still be at Notre Dame probably?
You guys were so locked in, I believe. You think about everything that went wrong. Like, you lose your starting running back he's making a beautiful cut on the first play, and his knee just goes, right? Then, okay, we go play Clemson. We lose Malik. We got Deshaun, but it takes this rainstorm.
Yeah,
to make us to mess us up offensively. We lose 2 fumbles going into the end zone. We moving the ball at will. They really can't stop us in the second half, and it comes down to a 2-point conversion. We just run probably the one play that goes right to what they stop.
6'5" dude. Never understood.
The funny part about that game, like the part nobody ever even talk about. Every time that they got the ball, it stopped raining. Every time we got the ball, it was pouring down. Every time we got the ball, I'm telling you, like they'll go to punt the ball, and it just start coming down, like just coming. I'm like, bruh. Every time we got the ball.
Oh my god, it was so terrible.
That was the craziest environment. I mean, that in Florida State, man.
Florida State, oh man. I think they had the smoke going, and it just was like every play was crazy.
That Florida State game, man. I still get chills from thinking about that game. Man.
You can say like that Florida State game really is when Jerron started getting noticed. Jerron
did get noticed in that game.
He was bullying whoever was in front of him that game in the first half.
Yeah.
But we don't get players the size of Jerron at a 3 tech, you know.
Yeah, you feel me? Like
that type of size, because Jerron for real, like 6'7".
He's like 6'7". He's a big dude.
Like, you're not no small dude, and
you're really big
have
dude.
him at a 3 tech, like combine that with a Jerry or something. I mean, you really got some size.
Yeah.
And we got skinny calf, but big up top type of D lineman. It's just not working.
Look, man, for me, when we had that discussion, because I think I was the one that kind of brought it up to you, because you like, man, what would I tell him? I'm like, yeah, bro, like, let that dude know, like, if I played in that game, y'all would have got it. We would have dealt with y'all. Like, it would have been a wrap. And everything would have changed. Like Dabo, is he still at Clemson? You know, do they even end up with Trevor Lawrence? Does Trevor Lawrence end up going to Georgia? It's like you never know what dominoes could have fallen. And Georgia could have ended up overcoming Alabama earlier. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how things happen. And things are the way they are. And it is what it is, but we get ready to close this out today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say health, because we're going to have a show next week where we're going to talk about the biggest storylines and what needs to come out of this camp. Notre Dame needs to come out of this camp healthy, bro. That's it. Protect each other, stay healthy, and go into the first 3 games building up to September 23rd. Look, this camp, you can say what you want to say, right? You want to come out, smash Navy. By the middle of the second quarter, the second string should be in against Tennessee State.
We should have the towels over the head and all that, Gatorade bottles. You know, we should be chilling.
Because Tennessee State is literally, I don't know if you guys know this, but Tennessee State is turning this into like a party for them. They're actually like throwing a party, the Tennessee State Alumni Association.
I might pull up. Shoot,
it's throwing a big party. I think that
we might have our first homecoming ever at Notre Dame.
I think they said Kid Capri is supposed to be DJing, right? What? Kid Capri is supposed to be DJing. It's gonna be downtown at one of the hotels. I'm like, yo, I'm coming. Like I'm definitely coming that Friday.
Just put your TSU shirt.
The TSU, yeah, I think I'm gonna pull up.
Like I'm coming.
Like, wait, aren't you CJ from Notre Dame? No, I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan.
I went to TSU. Yeah, I went to grad school at TSU.
Grad school for a night. Yeah.
So it's gonna be a humongous weekend. You know, I think there are some other events that they want us to be a part of with the inner city there in South Bend, and TSU is coming on. They're not just coming to party, but they're coming to make an impact. On the youth of South Bend, because the guy that actually did our show for the Blue and Gold game, our live show, is a TSU alum. And he was the one that was giving us insider information. So that game should be over quick. September 23rd is it, bro. That's the game.
And they said Ohio State the most talented team in the country.
They always are. Okay.
They good.
That's the thing. They always are.
They always are. They always pretty much got. I mean, always top 3. It's always them, Bama, and Georgia, basically.
Let me ask you guys a question. What would it mean for Notre Dame players to come out the tunnel on September 3rd and see a stadium 65 to 70% full of scarlet and gray?
Hey, Notre Dame's always put that Irish green as the money first.
Right.
Notre Dame fans have ate well. If the fans is of the other team is filling up our stadium in the parking lot. And because Notre Dame does a great job doing tailgates where they got the resources to basically make it feel like they put their living room right outside the stadium. They get the big TVs, the grills, the everything you need to be comfortable, and they got the cable. So they like, man, we'll sell our little tickets for a nice come up because we have the game outside the game right here, and we can be walking around and stuff. So, Notre Dame has always had a interesting way of showing more loyalty to the green dollar than the Irish green when it comes to game day. Maybe it's the good stewardship that we like to practice on and off the field.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's a tough one. I mean, we definitely got to show up and show out, but hey, you know how it go. Sometimes, hey, either way, it don't matter what the stadium look like. You gotta go out there and play.
I go out there and play.
I mean, feel me? That's it. Because that game right there, for the guys who those seniors, junior seniors,
go to the league.
You want to go to the league? That's it. That's your
game
right there. You feel me? That's your chance.
That's your league game.
Right, because there's one guy that's pretty much in the league as long as he stays healthy, and that's Joe Alt.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
he's only making him more money.
He's there. Sam Hartman.
He's there regardless. It don't matter.
Right.
What. Yeah.
Right. Sam Hartman can get
stock,
second round.
Yeah.
Aldrich is probably gone.
If he has a second rounder, if he go crazy in the Ohio State game.
Who, Aldrich?
Yeah, he go second round because they're not paying Dalvin and Saquon and all.
CJ, man, how do you feel about what we're seeing in the NFL with Saquon and Josh Jacobs and all these dudes right now. This is look. This is what I'd say. I call BS because it's like, well, there's no market. Make the market.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's kind of been the forecast for the last few years. I mean, even as far as like, me, I'm 29. I'm out the league. I played 5 years, and that was basically as far as I can go because I had teams call, but they like, we're not gonna pay you the vet, 8-year vet salary, whatever, and we just gonna pay a guy minimum salary. You feel me? So it's that's what the league is like. That's basically what the leagues come to because it's like the running backs, we get injured so much. We're taking so much punishment. Even it's not even just the runs. You think about the pass protection. We taking punishment every single play basically, and we're taking high impact hits. So you don't have you guys aren't really lasting. I mean, you're going through. When I was in Seattle, my rookie year, we had about 15 different backs come in. Jen, that's just that was just my rookie year. So it was just a revolving door as far as who somebody just come in. Basically, you just come in, getting the ball, and the next game somebody else is getting the ball. It was just whoever can just hold it. Whoever can just keep. Whoever just lasting basically at this point. So and you see a lot of these big time guys getting injured. See the Gurleys, even McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, they're all injured.
How did that happen?
Years.
He just came off a huge contract, and he went from. Didn't even get interest after Atlanta. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's only 20.
Because bad knees, and once you get that rap, and then all the scouts and stuff saying he's injured, he doesn't have this step. And they're like, all right, well, ain't gonna pay him. And then the guy for Gurley, he like, well, I made all this money. I'm not about to go play for no minimum salary. Like,
so that's what it is. It's the unwillingness to play for the low amount. Not that they not offering nothing. It's
but
it's money.
But it's like what's the point? Because it's the money is good, yeah, but like the toll is taken on your body, the mental you got to go through. Because now like everybody looking, you was that guy. Now all of a sudden you not that guy. Now you like basically like you go from being that guy getting 20 carries to you might get 5 carries, and you don't know what kind of carries they even gonna be. They might they might just throw you in 3rd and 8, and he's like, all right, just go run the inside zone. Like, I ain't getting the first down. Like,
and the probability is low on that one.
Yeah, so it's like it's like for so a guy like my age, like we're like, man, we're not about to go and do
taking dummy
tear our bodies up. We already been tore up enough. Like,
right now, how much did the NFLPA and the Players Association? How much effect do y'all have involved in getting running backs paid more? Just those type of contract situations.
As far as like the NFLPA, like you gotta understand, they with the NFL, like they basically, like we.
they're actually an extension of them.
Yeah, obviously they helping they for the players to help us, get stuff. But as far as like that, there's nothing they're gonna do about the running backs because it's like the whole market for the running back is dropping. It's not even if you're just a straight running back these days, you're not really doing anything. You got to be able to catch the ball and you got to be able to do more than just one thing at this point. So as far as the NFLPA, like. They not really work. They working for the players as a whole, but they're not working as far as like any position group or any like specific group or anything.
See, this is my issue. It's obvious that the league purposely sets the narrative. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance in this league.
Basically, yeah.
Fam, if you ain't Pat, Joe, if you ain't one of the top 3 or 4, you ain't got no chance. No way. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Daniel Jones ain't moving the needle. The Giants know that. What, Saquon don't play the first. Have you seen that schedule the first 6 games, bro?
It's tough.
Let Saquon not play the first 6 weeks and watch what happens to Daniel Jones.
0-6.
Man.
0-6, yeah. No,
it's going to be crazy.
0-6.
It's going to be crazy. Wait a minute. I'll take it a step further because I love that. Love Dak Prescott, his story. Love him. Look at his production once 21 wasn't 21 anymore
Gets
in that
hard.
backfield. Let me tell you something. I'm all for running backs. Hey, man, your first 2 years, prove yourself, and then get your money.
Yep.
Get your money then.
That's it, yeah.
Hold out then.
Whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do, man. Because that, your whole rookie contract, no, not for your position.
Right.
No. That's built for the quarterback and wide receivers, left tackles. That's not built for you. The game is not built for you.
It's not.
Bijan Robinson, my brother. Kill this year, kill next year, and force Atlanta to give you your money.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now. Because that quarterback you got, Desmond Ridder, he ain't it. And if that offense explodes, you're going to be the prime reason, my brother.
Yeah, you're going to be the reason why.
You're going to be the prime reason why. So it's sad because the position holds so much value still in high school. I don't know. You're down there in Texas, bro. Notre Dame has this kid, Kedron Young, from Texas, coming next year.
I got to check him out.
Bruh. Man. Yo. You watch his film, you're going to be like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like he comes in Notre Dame, he's going to put up numbers. And then just to know he worked his entire life to put himself in position to walk into the trick bag when it comes to the money.
I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, nowadays I tell running backs, I'm like, man, you got to be able to catch the ball. Straight up.
Yeah, right. Facts.
Straight up.
Facts.
I mean, because if you just running that thing, you ain't getting nothing. Like, I mean, my boy Chris Carson for the Seahawks, man, he had to retire because of his neck. Man, he was the strongest, best athlete I've ever seen in my life, bro. He can bench 450 and then go jump over somebody in the same day.
Oh, so he was like a beast for real.
Man, he was a freak of nature. And bro, when I say like he just ran him straight. They just ran him straight downhill, and he just tore his body up, man.
Yeah,
It's nothing. They told him he was Superman, but he wasn't. I mean, nobody's Superman.
You can only take so many hits, man.
You can only take so much, and then
they tagging you too.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, once you start breaking them tackles, they're gonna start hitting you harder.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like one thing, it's like an unwritten rule. Okay, you go down, whatever. You try to do too much, and you trying to bury Sanders out there. I'm sure they're like, all right, now I gotta really hit you.
Now I gotta really like tag you now, like.
So we're gonna tease you a little bit.
I know they be
we've done this, but we're gonna let CJ, because usually Malik breaks down the film. We're gonna let CJ break down like a minute to a minute and a half of Kedron Young. I thought this would be perfect. Let him break down Kedron Young for about a minute to a minute. Kid is out of Lufkin, Texas.
You said where? Lufkin.
Lefty.
Oh man, strong. Ooh.
Agree.
Oh man. he threw bro off like Marshawn. Oh yeah, I like the energy.
See, that's the stuff that people would jump on you for. You know, oh yeah, you strong. You're gonna just tag you.
Cut back. Good move. Stiff arm. Oh yeah.
Breakaway.
I seen everything on that play. Patience, cuts, stiff arm, break tackles, and speed. I love it.
What do you think is what do you think is the skill that helped the most, that was different? Like high school, you just gotta be more athletic. College, you gotta be a little bit smarter, but your jump cuts may be working. What was the go-to in the NFL that if I get this one thing down, this will be helpful for my running back career?
I think you just gotta know yourself. So you know what you're good at. I knew I was good, like putting my foot in the ground and getting upfield. So I wasn't trying to do no dancing. Like I'm like, if I get an outside zone, I'm gonna stretch it as far as I can, and I'm gonna put my foot in the ground, and I'm just gonna, if somebody's there, I'm just gonna try to run through them.
Yeah.
You know, it's you kind of get to a mindset. You try not to do too much. You just do what you're really good at, and you keep it. You just stay there. So like instead of trying to, in the off season, you see guys do all these drills and stuff, doing this and that. Like I would incorporate that stuff, but I would have it like, all right, I do this little quick this, and I put my foot in the ground, get up field quick as I can. So I'm just knowing that I need to, at the end of the day, if I'm dancing, I need to put my foot in the ground, get up field. That's what I'm good at. So that's
like saying you working on your crossover if it was basketball. Like,
exactly,
I got all the step backs, but that 1-2 crossover.
That 1-2 cross, I gotta have that right every time. Like
yeah, I feel like it's especially when everybody's good, you just gotta be better at one thing.
Yeah, that's it. Like, once you get to the league, everybody's good. Like everybody's good. So you just got to be good at the one thing you're good at. Like don't try to go out there if you a speed guy, don't try to go and be a power guy. Like, don't try to go and hit somebody if you're a speed guy. Just if you're a juke guy, if you're a shifty guy, like be shifty. Don't try to go and run past somebody you ain't fast enough. Like so that's just kind of how that's kind of how what I learned from playing, because I got injuries trying to do other things. Like I try to dance and be a power guy sometimes, and then I get hurt. I'm like, nah, let me just go be a speed. Let me go run fast and catch the ball. Let me go run fast, catch the ball, like, and make it simple on myself.
Okay, so you're not doing all of this in high school. I mean, in the NFL, doing all the cutting and throwing people and.
No, I mean, if that's what you do that. But you gotta, you also gotta understand, when the battle's over.
Yeah,
you gotta know when the battle's over, especially in the league. In high school, you can dang.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got the pass pro too. Oh yeah, I like this kid. He got the juice. He's got the juice.
So with a kid like this, what would be your advice? Just try to stay healthy as you can, because you exerting a lot of energy doing a lot.
No, man, keep doing what he's doing. Keep doing what he's doing. Don't lose none of that. Don't lose none of it. And then we'll once you get to the highest level, then you can figure it out from there once you're professional. But until you get there, show it all. Show everything you got at every time. Every point.
Does he seem like a day one show up like, oh, I can
absolutely
give me the ball?
Well, you tell from the pass pro. The pass pro is the main source, because you got to be able to protect the passer first. So you see him knocking dudes out on pass pro. Even here, you see him the runs. He's real patient. He's not cutting too quick. He's letting his O-lineman work for him, and then he's just making the plays. So I think he's definitely
develop as a running back though the patience, as Le'Veon takes a lot of credit for saying that he set the wave of the patient running back kind of thing. How do you train like that in the off season? Because I feel like as a running back, you lift, you stay in shape, but hell, when those bullets, you hard to replicate when you trying to run through holes and stuff.
No, I mean it's film study. It may depend on your O-line too, how your O-line be blocking. How the run scheme is, how the run scheme is blocked. Sometimes, if you got like a zone running scheme, you can be a little bit more patient instead of like a gap where everybody's kind of just pushing forward. So it just depends on the running scheme and then the kind of the O-lineman you got. Because if you got shredders in front of you, you don't need to be too patient.
Right.
Like you let the boys hit it.
While we have you here, this is crazy. I remember the same day I spoke to Dylan McCullough, I spoke to Harry Heastand as if he had returned to Notre Dame. And Harry said, I talk to the running backs just as much as I talk to the O-line, because the running backs need to know what I'm telling the O-line.
Yeah.
In order for them to be effective. And I would see him in practice talking to the running backs, and he was given the leeway because of his relationship with Tom to go ahead, talk to the running backs and say things to them. Joe Rudolph comes in, and Joe Rudolph comes in with a high grade in development. You look at the guys he's put into the NFL, not the same pedigree when they came to college like Notre Dame gets, but he gets them to the league, and they end up being effective offensive linemen in the NFL. So you know he can develop, but he does it a different way. He likes his guys to move. He likes these guys to get out in space, pull. He likes athleticism, which might be a little bit different from what Harry Heasan like, especially on the interior, because he liked a little more Marlin type guy.
Yeah.
And every now and then you just get a special dude like Quentin Nelson that could do whatever the hell he wanted to do. It really didn't matter. But I'm very interested in seeing the combination of Vito McCullough with Joe Rudolph and how he likes to give different looks. And I said this to Left. I said if there's anybody that consistently gave Ohio State fits matching up, it was the Wisconsin running game with the different ways they could attack Ohio State. I said having Joe Rudolph in this staff might be something from the running game standpoint that might add some versatility that Ohio State may have not seen from Notre Dame on film over the last decade. Just talk about his impact as being the new O-line coach and how it can impact the running back room.
No, I mean, I definitely think, obviously, whenever you get a change O-line, you get different running schemes, and it always, it always be whatever. With our O-line, it's not gonna matter. We got guys.
Yeah,
so but for the change of scheme is always great because you're gonna still run the same thing we did last year. We're gonna still have the power. We're gonna still have the inside zones, but he's gonna probably bring in some things that I might never seen before. We never seen before. Some counters, maybe some pulls, maybe some pitches or something that we ain't seen before to get guys out in space.
Right.
And then they also catch Ohio State off guard. So I definitely think it's a great move because as far as he's staying, we knew we were gonna get. We were running at you and we were gonna maul you. But we loved it though because we knew exactly what we was getting and you couldn't stop it. So but Rudolph. So we might see some different schemes and stuff. So it'll definitely be great for. It'll definitely be great for the running backs. I know they'll have fun with it because I know I had a great time when we were putting in different schemes senior year, and you see the old lineman just having fun going and like I'm running behind Quentin Nelson. I'm just literally watching him pick whoever he wants to block and just pancaking them like.
Yeah, you're not worried about juking dudes behind the line.
Yo, how. It was crazy because I remember they went through the draft process, and I remember watching. It was like, who was that? Bradley Chubb that North Carolina State had. Yeah. And Bradley Chubb, they were like, "Yo, who was the best player you faced all year?" He was like, "Oh, big." He was like, "Them dudes from Notre Dame." Because they were expecting him to say a running back, a quarterback. Yeah. He was like, "No, man, old boy from Notre Dame."
Yeah.
He was like, that dude is different.
Yeah, he's different.
He was like, man, I was having success early, and he was smiling. It was almost like he was new. Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, we're stopping the run, the game, on the road, feeling good. And he said, man, I looked up in the third quarter. He was like, I'm looking at my boy next to me, like, yo, they kicking our ass. Like, it's over. Like, you can feel like we have let go of the rope. And it might have been right after that, you ran that 92-yarder, like, right after that, CJ, and it was like, okay, yeah. But what was it like to play behind, just not him, because, he's next to Mike McGlinchey, bro. Like
he was next to Ronnie.
Right, he was next to Ronnie.
Then I had Nick. And then I had Nick. Steve Elmer. And I had McGlinchey.
Wait, this is the crazy thing. Talking about what we were talking about, what Notre Dame. Steve Elmer probably would have ended up second round pick. This dude was like,
he would have been right in that class with everybody else.
I'm good. I don't want to play no more.
Yeah, he actually didn't tell us. He just told Coach Kelly and never came back. He said, I was like, wait a minute, where you? He said, I am in politics, dog.
I'm good. He said, I'm good. I'll see y'all later. He lost about 100 pounds.
Lost 100, man. He was serious when he lost all his weight.
Yep. He was like, I'm done with it.
Yeah, got them headshots. Got on the website. Yeah, it was over.
Yeah, he's staying right up out of there.
Yeah. Hey, Harry can do that to you, boy.
No, that O-line, man, it was special. And the thing is, I didn't even realize how special they were until I got to Seattle. And
Really?
I didn't. So I had one negative run in college. My senior year, I had one negative run.
Damn.
My first three runs in Seattle were all negative runs.
Damn. First three.
I was in the phone booth.
Like it really was hard to maneuver those first three.
Like I literally in college, I would get the ball, could look around, and hit the hole. In the league, I would get it, and if I stop for a second, I'm getting tackled.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that's like, terrible.
Yeah, so I was like, that's when I was like, dang, my O-line was nice. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy because Malik, we said Notre Dame fans have been spoiled because they don't know what normal college O-line play looks like.
They have no idea.
No idea, man. They have no idea what it's like to play behind a good O-line.
Yeah,
one thing to see it, but the time that you have, like your mental clock, as you sitting in the pocket or as you working through, finding holes is just a lot more at ease. You're like, man, football.
I don't think I've ever I don't even think I can remember a game where it was just like, dang, they just sacking us like 5 times. It's never just been a game where we just getting sacked. Like if you watching a game, if you watching a game and you just see the other team getting sacked, you like they're about to lose. Like they're gonna
easily.
They can't do nothing. Like man, we never had to even experience.
That's why I was always in games because it was like you're not just going 3 and out us. It's going to take.
Yeah, like I barely even pass protect in college because they blocked everybody. Like I ain't.
And they picked up everything, edges and extra guys.
I was like, I had to do nothing. Like, yeah, no, that O line is different at Notre Dame. It's like that's literally a professional O line, like in college.
And that's crazy. Seattle is just so different. And you're like, this is the professional league. And they get
bro, we ain't.
Especially coming off of what they did with Beast Mode. You just expected that was the culture. Like,
yeah. When I got there, the Maulers weren't there anymore.
In your opinion, how much of that is, people just like to say, like, oh, he had a good offensive line. I just think Beast Mode was like a type of mentality, like,
no, absolutely.
It didn't matter. Okay, you put 5 in front. All I need y'all to do is hold up for this long.
No, he has some dudes in front of him for sure.
For sure.
He has some dudes, but the mentality was really what it was. It's like the mama mentality. It's like you not stopping me. You can put 3 people on me, but it's still not. I'm still gonna shoot it and make it. Like so. That's just kind of the beast mode mentality, and that's kind of what they were like. We went for in Seattle.
Give me, because Left has given us like fall camp moments, right? Like Chase Claypool not knowing how to play football, just picking dudes up and just throwing them out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
The first time Jalen stepped on the field, it was like, oh snap, this dude, he the best player already.
Real.
On the other side,
Sheldon throwing McGlinchey is still a famous clip. And I remember, when he fired off the ball, I'm like, toss McGlinchey. Like, it was great. It was really crazy for real. It was like the poor man's Aaron Donald type thing. Like, dude, just like famous clip to this day. Famous clip to this day.
So Shell as a freshman just.
No.
I think Mike was the freshman.
Mike was a freshman.
Okay, Mike was a freshman.
And Sheldon just was on his. Like Sheldon was really, really good, and then he got hurt, and he was coming back from it, and he was still good. But man, I heard freshman Sheldon was like the dude.
Yeah, no, Shell. I mean, Shell's still playing
still in the league.
So like he definitely that dude. I'm trying to think.
Another fall camp moment. Okay.
Fall camp moment.
Like what was the Quentin has arrived moment? Like,
man, just in general, he just.
I'm about to say. I remember. I knew Quentin was that dude. Was we were working out one day, and we finished working out like we had finished the O-line works out like an hour before us usually. So we finished working out, and he was still in there working out. So that means the O-line would have been done for an hour, and he was still working out like after that. So he was in there for like 3 hours working out, like doing farmers walks. I was like, oh hell no, this dude is real.
He's real.
Just off of that, I can tell.
Wait a minute, you said doing farmers walks?
Yes, like I'm telling, this is 2 hours after they already done. Like,
The O-line culture is great at Notre Dame. You don't have
yeah.
to tell them to work after or before. They weight room, after practice, before practice, film.
It's already built in.
Just like
if every group at Notre Dame did that, we would win every game. Honestly, we would be the best team, way better than Georgia if we did the O-line routine type thing.
Man, yo, come on, keep them rolling. Fall camp stories, like stuff that 2015 fall camp. Malik, you had me dying because you were like, dude, from the first snap, we were like 70-yard touchdown, 80-yard touchdown, 65-yard touchdown. He was like, dude, we didn't know what the DC was doing because I would never throw his name on this podcast.
Oh man, he was tripping.
I
remember that's actually funny. It was one day after fall. It was after practice and fall camp. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, CJ, I don't know what we're gonna do about you." Like, bro,
no, for real. Like really stressed out in fall camp, not knowing. Like
bro, you didn't worry about me. You didn't worry about the other teams.
About the other teams we played. You can't even scheme against your own offense, man. That's crazy.
You see our plays every day. We doing
giving fits, but that's because we were okay. That goes back to why we were so good. We would tell a team we're running right and left, and it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
We gonna get 5, 6, fall forward, might break it or something.
Yeah,
we were just really good. Confident.
So Malik said, "I'm like, come on, left." He was like, "No, dude." He was like, the DBs were calling checks. He was like, I don't know what the heck they were doing on the defense side of the ball. Like the defensive backs would call checks. Like
not the defensive backs. The corners were responsible for the corners were responsible for the checks, not the safeties.
Yeah,
the corners were they're responsible for making the checks. Crazy! I never even heard that before.
Furthest people from the sideline, from the middle of from where the ball is. Making sure.
Hey, fall camp stories right here on Lucky Lefty Podcast. So your first fall camp, you go in. What does it feel like?
No air conditioning. You got them big ass fans. It get real when you walk in and they got them little wind fans and it's kind of hot already and everybody running around trying to find a room and
the cover camps. They suck. If that's your first fall camp,
because you like, man, we could be at home doing this.
I could be in an air conditioned dorm, but they got me in this hot military
auditorium
school.
with these hard seats.
Like you got Coach Booker. Coach Booker, the first thing I got to listen to every morning, talking about some Rangers ST.
Hearing that damn horn.
Hearing the horn.
And it's like after practice, it's like, that 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock window where you just, man, I want to go home, but I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm just kind of walking around, bad service.
And it's always hot.
Always
hot. That's the word. You just can't ever get away from the heat.
You get dressed in the morning. You got to get
sweating.
Stuff on, take your stuff off. The transition, because they make you get in the ice bath after practice. So all your stuff is wet, and you trying to, it's a lot. Training, getting taped and all the treatment the in between times and stuff is tough. Because people fall asleep.
It's funny I think about camp and it's like the camp is always such a blur. You just kind of know what happens, but you don't really know what really went on during camp. You just like, all right, I knew what was going on, but I don't really know the events of what really was going on. Like I remember little things. Like I remember, we got. Like I remember going to Cover, but I barely remember even practicing there.
No, for real. It was just like bits and pieces because you're just in it, and it happens so fast because it's every day, and then you just leave one day. Okay, we're going back to campus, and then because when you get back, you got like 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks, and it feels
school,
so long.
and then that whole thing. So you're like, it's not even over yet.
We actually, I think it was my junior year. We had Coach Denbrock, receiver coach, he had I think he had got sick or had some procedure. So we had Coach Kelly was the receiver coach for like a week.
Yes.
Hey.
Yo, whenever Coach Kelly takes over a practice or a group, you will be like, man, this dude doesn't know English.
We was jacked up, bro. I'm telling you, everything that we had learned from the playbook, everything
he would say the opposite.
Opposite.
Literally he would say the complete And it'd be like, bro, I know you're not for real, bro. You joking? And he would always keep the same. He'd be like, no, yeah, let's do it this way. Yeah,
right. And so what's the name? Was a freshman. Corey Holmes was a freshman, I think. And so, bro, coming into freshman year, I think, and Corey had did spring ball, so he had kind of knew the playbook,
right,
with Denbrock. So he comes into fall camp with Coach Kelly, and Coach Kelly is telling him all different stuff,
opposite stuff, like.
So like, and so like when you come as a freshman, you still kind of like moving kind of slow because you kind of figure out what you're doing. Corey was moving hella slow because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Like it was like Corey run. So,
yeah, like Corey
all the fall camp they getting at Corey they like Corey run.
Yeah,
Corey,
like we didn't think he wanted to be here or something.
Telling different stuff like from the playbook. Like he don't even know what the hell going on probably. Like he like, bro, I don't know what's happening.
We would literally be in a meeting with coach, like we'd be in a meeting with the quarterback coach, like Coach Sanford or something, or Mike LaFleur or whatever. Coach Kelly will walk in late. We'll sit down and we talk about something. After we get done agreeing, talking through it, everybody's on the same page. He'd be going there and be like, let's call it this other thing and do this like totally opposite. and it's so awkward because this is the head coach. It's Brian Kelly. So you got Coach Sanford not knowing what to say. I'm in there, you know me. I'm like, so what are we doing? Like, are we going this way or that way? But nobody wants to say Coach Kelly's wrong, which is the funniest part about it. Like nobody would be like, nah, Coach Kelly, we ain't.
That ain't right. Like,
you just kind of be like, all right, bro, and then wait till he leave and be like, just do it the way we talked about.
You
really like, go in there and mess you up for real. You would think you'd be like, oh, no, that's not.
And then you get out to practice and you got to practice and Coach Kelly getting at your head because he told you to do it one way and now you doing it the other way. Like, yo.
And now you're an uncoachable player or something. Like,
right, now it's on you.
That's crazy. And now you affect the kids' opportunity to make an imprint in fall camp.
Yeah.
And climb the depth chart. Let's talk about those moments. Let me tell you something. I told Malik, I said, I went to practice, and I said, the entire week of practice, Notre Dame media put out nothing but clips of wide receivers catching long bombs from Sam Hartman and Tyler Buckner. The entire week. It was crazy. It was almost like they did too much. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, practice, the offense is just dominating. So I go to a Saturday practice, and I watch Benjamin Morrison
lock him
in drills. It was almost like, okay, that's what y'all gonna do. Yeah. I saw Benjamin Morrison lock up every receiver, man to man. Like, no, I got him. It's my rep. And I turned to some people. I turned to my guys, Andrew and Levon Whitaker, like, yeah, he's a dude. Like Notre Dame, they got one. Like he's 3 years and out. That's it. He's
gone. Yeah, he
ain't gonna be here more than 3 years. Yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah, you have like any dude moments like that where you like watching a dude and it's just like, yeah, all right.
Man, when Smooth first got to campus, we were doing 7-on-7s just in the summer, like just 7-on-7. Man, I was in the slot. This man Smooth hit me. Like he just I don't know what he did. But I damn near pulled my hamstring, broke my leg, and we were just damn near doing 7-on-7s, this outside walk, like just running doing outside, basically doing 7-on-7.
Right.
I was like, man, this dude moves different. Like he got to this spot so fast. Like I couldn't even get around him. Like I'm like, yo, this
he's step for step with you.
He was step for step, and he had just got on campus.
More than me.
Like he didn't know what he was doing, but he was just just there. Like I'm like, yeah, this guy's it.
Yo, that's crazy because it kind of sounds, man, I'll never forget. My man was lined up on a Dory Jackson and after 3 steps had his hands up, like bro, he was playing off coverage. What you mean? Like didn't matter. He was like, oh, I'm making that up. Throw the ball. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely one of them dude moments too.
So Benjamin Morrison is a dude, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
For a fact, it's gonna be fun to watch him go up. I don't know if they'll have him follow Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm sure Cam will get his reps on him. You know, I'm sure they'll probably move Marvin Harrison to the slot in certain formations to try and get him open and try to do certain things. But man, my next one was this cat Jalen Sneed this spring. Jalen Sneed changed the entire tenure of a practice. Practice is just real smooth, real chill, you know, music playing, they're going through the drills, blowing the whistle, next play. And then he just got tired of it and came out and just popped somebody. Said a few words, went back to the huddle. He must have told him don't do it again because he came back and did the exact same thing. Popped him again. It went up. Practice went up. Now everybody's chipping. Rest of practice, everybody's chipping. And I'm like, okay, because he's still a freshman.
Yeah.
This is a spring. He's still a freshman by the books. And I'm like, yo, if he can do that, I need that.
Yeah, for sure.
I need that attitude because everybody else is just like ho hum.
Right.
We need some dudes like that.
No, you definitely do. You need somebody who's gonna stir up some stuff and compete. And that's just competing right there. I like
Lucky
that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So we're about to get out of here. Thank you once again to Cam McDaniels that joined us early. CJ Prosise, they both joined us down from that big state of Texas. I've been trying to get down there, dealing with some stuff. I got people in Dallas that just moved to Frisco.
Okay.
From Chicago. They moved their business down there. They do homes and flip them and everything. So I'm gonna get down there and check them out. And
I'll be down there too, man. I gotta come down.
Yeah, we gotta come down there and check you and Cam out. Especially you saying you and Cam are like what, 15 minutes apart?
Yeah, so my gym is he in Fort Worth, so he probably like 40 minutes from me, but my gym is probably like 20 minutes from where he stayed.
How is it? I mean, you've been growing it, the clients coming in and everything. And how,
yeah, man, we've been growing. We got a couple 7-on-7 teams now.
Oh, okay, shoot.
That's been our kind of new thing. It's been fun though, man. We're doing the speed and agility has been good. We've been getting a lot of clients, a lot of new clients, a lot of old clients coming back. So it's been good, man.
Former teammates and NFL guys, pro guys coming through yet?
Yeah, we'll have some guys come through. We've been having a little bit more college guys come through lately. So it's been cool. Definitely been good.
Is there a rehab part? You got some Normatex in there?
we got the Normatex. We got massage therapy.
Okay.
We got a little PT that we use. So yeah, we got it all, man. We try to make it a one-stop shop.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, man, and
appreciate y'all, man.
We love the vibe, and you know how we do it every show. You know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Now, you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you. You don't? No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, pettiest story today, brought to you by Onora Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com. Premium American Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com. Todd Smith, we see you, man. CJ, and you're going to have to go back to the beginning of the podcast. We did a whole segment on Chris Tyree and his transition. This would have hit a little bit different because it was in real time. It hit right during the time we would have done the show yesterday. But I got to put my man Zach Martin on the petty train. Because I ain't never seen nobody use their Madden ratings to let the team know I ain't coming in. Give me my money. Yeah. Like they gave me, man, Madden ratings came out, they gave him a 99. He tweeted it out and was like, yeah, I might not be showing up for camp.
Hey,
I said, bruh,
Yeah.
you talk. This man first of all, this man just said, obviously y'all been talking crazy.
Yeah.
Wasting your time on this contract. I'm the best in the league, bro.
he said eight-time Pro Bowler with 8-time All Pros and 6 holding calls.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he don't need to come to camp. He good.
No. Yeah, you see that Madden rating? He used a Madden rating, bro. You see that? This is my announcement.
That's what his contract should be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, that was one of the pettiest announcements I had ever seen in my life. I'm like, yo.
I love it.
If it's a way to be petty and let a team know what your worth is, y'all go ahead and check out that 99 Madden rate. Check that out.
I love it, man. The league, so many funny things happened in the league last year. Just
I know. I keep seeing the tweets about it. It's gonna be funny.
It's like stuff I forgot. I was like, oh, that did happen.
That did happen.
Crazy stuff.
So what did you think about that exec list, quarterback list that came out before we let you go? I think they had Pat Mahomes.
Josh Allen in the top 5 is unserious to me.
Malik, man, you gotta stop this bashing Josh Allen, man. You gotta stop.
You
know why I can't take it seriously? Because you a bash Josh Allen and then cake for Kirk Cousins.
No.
This cat, dude. Have you seen the quarterback documentary, CJ?
No, I didn't watch it. What's it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I ain't watching it.
You can watch episodes 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. Yeah, you can just skip all the other stuff. 1 and 2, 7 and 8. You'll find. Kirk Cousins has a trophy room, and this dude took the divisional championship T-shirt and hat and put it in his trophy room. That let me know everything I need to know about this dude. I said, "Oh, dude, you ain't serious." Your trophy room.
I got that bitch in the bottom of my drawer.
He said he hung it up, put a little mannequin body on it.
He put it up in the trophy room. I said, "What?"
Man.
Divisional?
Man. Now this is the ball, dude. This was. I don't know if he was trying to play mind games with Jalen Hurts. So you knew that Monday night they do the big media day at the Super Bowl. So they got Pat and Jalen mic'd up, and Pat tells Jalen Hurts, like, yeah, I rented a crib 6 miles from the stadium. I got it 3 months ago. And Jalen's looking at him like, you got it 3 months ago? He was like, yeah, I got it 3 months ago. And I'm saying, Pat, what? So basically, Pat was like, oh, I knew I was going to be here. Yeah. So I got my crib 3 months ago on Airbnb. Got a sweet price on it too. And I'm like, man, even though Jalen Hurts balled out, if Pat was sitting there just playing mind games with him, like, hey, I'm here, dog.
Yeah, that's too funny.
And you've been against them, Kansas City. Is it that different playing against them as opposed to other teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is different. I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, it's not as. I mean, now with Tyree gone, it's definitely a lot different.
Okay.
But when he was there, it was like these dudes different because Tyree and Pat Mahomes and Kelsey. Oh man. Those three, because you know Pat Mahomes and Kelsey, they gonna connect at least 7-8 times, and then if Tyree gets 3 deep balls on me, we can lose the game.
He can lose the game.
Game over. Literally.
Well, that's why they paying that man $500 million.
That's why they paying $500 million. Hey man, great show, Lucky Lefty. We appreciate you. We felt like we owed you, so we gave you a double dose today, and we really wanted to dig in. And we appreciate you guys sticking by us, man. Continue to send us prayers, your positivity, your vibes. We appreciate it. And we're going to continue to spend it different, man. Nobody out here doing Notre Dame content like us. They don't have the freedom So, they just don't. And we appreciate you guys. Don't forget CFB8 Nation. Tap in, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And as always, make sure you spend it different. We'll check you guys out tomorrow.